Friday the 28th of October 2011. Welcome to another United Kingdom talk. Halloween on the way, boys and girls, Halloween. And as a little celebration, I was very, very naughty yesterday. On my trip to Sainsbury's to do a little bit of shopping, I went past the cake section. I'm not a great cake. I love cake, don't get me wrong. I love cake and all that sort of thing, but I very, very rarely have it in the house. And I went past the donut section, the jam donut section, raspberry jam donuts, I have to say, and 60p for 6. And I picked them up and I texted one of my friends, actually one of the managers of the places I work at, Belushi's in London Bridge. And I said, I've just seen 6, what shall I do? And she texted back, no, like no, with lots of O's. Yes, so I put them down. But on a further little traipse around the shop, I found special Halloween chocolate cakes with orange icing. So I purchased one of those in preparation, of course, for Halloween. No other reason, although I must admit I've already had one slice. And as soon as I've finished recording today's show, I shall go and have another slice. Thank you very much. I'm doing a Halloween party on Saturday, actually, tomorrow, at the Steam Coach, which is in Hemel Hempstead. We're doing fancy dress and all that. And the manager has got me a little fancy dress. Manager Justin has got me a little fancy dress outfit to wear. And he says, you'll need a pair of black trousers. Do you know what? I've searched high and low in my house for a pair of black trousers, none of which have been found anywhere. So tomorrow I'm going to have to go out and get a pair of black trousers. So don't worry, I won't spend too much, no more than £30, I think, on a nice pair of black trousers for tomorrow's Halloween do. He hasn't told me what the costume is yet. I remember doing a Halloween party for him, that must have been about, I say, it's going back a few years. It must have been about 4 years ago. And that year he got me like a vampire thing, you know, the cape and the other bits and pieces. Not the teeth. Not the teeth, because it's very difficult to talk. You've got no teeth in your mouth, it's very difficult to talk, you see, on the microphone. So I remain to see what their little costume is and probably do some photographs and show them to you on one of the shows next week, all right? I'm outside in the garden today. It's a beautiful October day, not cold at all. We're doing quite well with the weather. I seem to notice that the weathermen seem to be getting it more and more wrong rather than right now. I keep looking at the sort of long term, the week ahead weather, and if you look on the Monday, it might say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sunny or something like that. And by Tuesday, it's all changed. So I don't know even why they even bother to do it. They seem to be getting the weather wrong more and more often. We were told that we were in for an extremely cold October. And here I am on the 28th, nearly at the end of October, sitting here in a T-shirt. I'm not cold. With, incidentally, Katie on my lap. A couple of people have privately sent emails saying, why haven't we seen Katie for a while? So here she is, sitting on my lap today. I noticed one of her whiskers looks like it's been, it obviously hasn't been, but it looks like it's been cut. You know, instead of like, you know, when it gets to the end, it kind of goes to a point. Well, this is just like, looks like it's been cut. And maybe she got it, did you get that caught somewhere, that whisker? Let me have a look. It's not dead, is it? Let me try and pull it out. No, it's not pullable out. Sometimes when they die, you can like put them out gently and they just come out. But yeah, very strange. There's no like pointed end. It does look like it's been cut, you know. So she's on my lap today. All right, email time. Hello to the lovely Kath in Wales, who says, hi Chris, how are you keeping? I'm very positive today. Very positive. I had a very nice email from a guy called Peter telling me to be positive. So that's how I'm going to be, positive. I'm feeling very, very positive, boys and girls. I really am. And so, oh, by the way, something strange happened this morning. I'll tell you about it after Kath's email, okay? She says, pleased to see you enjoy your holiday a couple of weeks ago. I would love to see Elton John. He has sung so many lovely songs. Yes, he has. And you know what? On stage, he comes across as a lovely person. He really does, very warm. I enjoyed watching the recordings of your recent trip. You've got a talent for video recording. Thank you for saying that. The show on Wednesday the 17th of October of the water fountain was spectacular. have you got any more videos for us to watch? Yeah, there is a very short one. That's all I've got left. I thought I did some more of that particular fountain, but it's pointless showing you the same thing a few times. Did you ever go on the fruit machines? Yes, I did. Only once. As I mentioned, I think in one of the other shows, I put $5 in the fruit machine at the airport on the way home and won 10 and cashed it in. Thank you very much for that. You could say I doubled my money. I think I would rather watch the shows myself than use the fruit machines, says Kath. Thank you, Kath, in North Wales. Oh, yes, definitely. I mean, very, very good shows out there. You don't want to spend all the time in the casino. Although I think that's what most of the Americans do, you know. They spend most of the time in the casino and losing lots of money, unfortunately. Millie in Minnesota says, I'm so pleased you had a wonderful time on your holiday. I plan to show the photos of your trip to Mum and Dad when I'm at the cottage. I think you've already been there. You sent this last week, didn't you? Since my last email, Dad has had another infusion and was hit really hard with the after effects for the entire week. Yes, he's got, unfortunately, he's got cancer and he's having some chemo done for that at the moment. So good luck for that, and keep it up. Keep it up, Millie. Keep it up. Richard writes on the subject of you losing your Tuesday night karaoke, me losing Tuesday night karaoke. Sad, sad news. He says, but I have to admit the same fate. I hope you find something soon, Chris. Karaoke is not the main priority with venues these days, no matter what you charge, but I admit I have the same price policy as you. It's a shame these people do not recognise loyalty anymore. Well, they don't, Richard. A lot of them don't. They do. A few of them do. There's a couple of people who do, actually. I work for two people who do actually recognise loyalty. They absolutely do. On that same sort of subject, one of my mates has just taken on a karaoke night, I think on a Thursday night, for £60 a night. 60. I mean, you know, how much lower can it go? I think, to be honest, I think you get more driving a bus. So, I mean, it's not looking good. If you were starting off doing entertainment stuff like karaoke and DJing now, I think you've got a very, very cloudy future, to be honest. I'm coming towards the end of my kind of money-making career period. So actually, I could, you know, I'm okay, really. But to actually be starting doing this sort of thing now, I think is a bit worrying. Now, what's that there? Oh, it's a vile slug. Must have been sitting on the chair somewhere. Oh, it's a slug, Katie. Can you get that for me? Thanks, Richard. We're talking about electric cars. Sean wants to know, what happens if you run the extension lead with the electric car? Oh, Sean, dear, you don't. You'd have to be a very long lead, wouldn't it? Sean also says, the newer cars are being built with internet radios built in. Citroën is starting to do that. That's what I've heard anyway. Haven't heard anything like that at all, Sean. Would be quite nice. I mean, you've got so many thousands and thousands of radio stations that you could choose from if they were starting to do that, couldn't they? Anyway, so this is the strange thing that happened this morning to me. So I got ready to go swimming as usual. I cycle all the way to Wokingham. It's about a 25-minute journey for me. I remember, for definite, 100%, putting my coat on and putting on my high visibility vest jacket thing that I got, zipped it up, and off I went. Rather naughtily, with a pair of headphones on, listening to Barry Manilow. I do like to listen to Barry Manilow. I actually listened to Barry Manilow last night just before I went to bed. I put the headphones on. Oh, it was lovely. And he was singing Somewhere in the Night. Those of you that know that one. Oh, by the way, Friday night, it is Friday now. Don't forget tonight, 9 o'clock, ITV1, Barry Manilow, an audience with Barry Manilow, my most favourite entertainer of all time, Barry Manilow, on ITV1 tonight, Friday the 28th of October at 9 o'clock, OK? So, got to the swimming pool, had my swim, made a little complaint because they had a class on. Now, when they have a class on, they rope off part of the pool, the majority of the pool for the class, which I understand, OK? I understand it as long as they give the swimmers a bit of space. But all the swimmers had was about 4 foot, you know, and it was very difficult to get past each other. There was only 2 of us, fortunately, but nevertheless, so I had a little moan about that. you know, for the size of the pool, we had less than a quarter of the width swimming. And I said to her, oh, come on, you know, give us a third. Well, we'd be happy with a third, you know, there was no room at all. So I had a little moan about that, okay? And then I left and got on my bike, at which point I realised I didn't have my high visibility vest on. I thought carefully, and I definitely remember unzipping the vest, okay, unzipping the vest and hanging it in the locker with my towel and my coat. Right, I definitely remember doing it. Do you know, I can see a little spider, and it's making a web from the camera. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a tiny little spider in front of the camera. It's moving away now. It's trying to make a web. Look at that thing. So, went back up to the locker, and I couldn't find it anywhere, this vest. Went back downstairs to the reception where it wasn't so much of a complaint. They just need to think a little bit more about what they're doing, you know. It wasn't a complaint. I've got no complaints at all about Virgin Active, none at all. And I asked, you know, have you seen the vest? He said, oh, we have nothing handed in. Okay, thanks very much. So I got on my bike, sort of kind of deciding to myself that, oh, well, you know, you're going to have to buy another one or order one online. Not for it, only about £20. Got home, and I opened the door, and there, on the back of the chair, at the kitchen table, was my high visibility vest, the orange and yellow one. You might have saw it when I first bought it months ago. I did show it to you. And I thought, you must have left it on the chair. And I thought, no, I am 100% sure that I never forget it. Why would I forget it? I'm 100% sure that I put it on, and I'm 200% sure that I took it off and hung it on a hook in the locker in the swimming pool. Isn't that strange? So I don't know if you've got any thoughts on that at all. I'd be very interested to know them. I know some of you are thinking, oh, he's gone mad at last. He must have forgotten. Seriously, I am 100% sure that I remembered putting that vest on, and 200% sure that I hung it up in the locker. That is the weirdest thing ever. Have you ever had anything like that happen? Things that have perhaps moved in the house? We're talking spirits and things like that here. I'd love to know about any of your stories about that. Do let us know. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Well, good news on the whole euro thing, boys and girls. The banks, or whoever it was, have decided to cut Greece's debt by 50%. I think this is a very important move, which just goes to show you, doesn't it? With all that money the banks have got, now and again, they can help out. It's not too much to ask, is it? For these people with billions, and I mean the money, the European money figures are astounding. They are mind-blowing. Billions here. They were talking about €1 trillion for something or other. I can't remember what it was now. But anyway, apparently these, the banks have decided to let Greece off half of what they owe. Well, let's not get anything wrong here. The politicians in Greece, and not the normal people, I don't know how it all works, should never have let it go that high. But nevertheless, someone at last has been a little bit sensible and said, let's write off half and see if that helps. Of course, it doesn't send a very good message to you or me, does it? Perhaps I can now go out and borrow £1 million, knowing that maybe at the end of the day, I'll only have to pay half of it back. Well, that's another way to look at it. Once again, that email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you on the next show. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye-bye.